What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to walk you through one of my leg workouts. This was filmed probably about a week ago, and I've decided to switch things up a little bit since then, but I will explain that in another video. I have started my first ever specific bulk period because I've talked a lot about trying to cut, then bulk, then cut again, but I changed my mind, so I'm going to be bulking slowly for a little bit so that I could then hopefully start cutting more towards the summer, but I'm going to try and bulk slowly so that I can add as little fat as I can, so that I have less to lose later. So I will go over that in another video, explain how I'm working out my calories, how I'm changing my workout schedule to grow basically the muscle groups that I'm trying to focus on at this point. So I will explain that later. But for right now, I have this leg workout. I'm going to narrate it for you because I have figured out how to do that. And it's so much fun. So if you have any questions or comments or whatever, leave them below. I'm usually pretty good at responding to people. So yeah, hope you like it. This first exercise is the sumo deadlift. I'm built much better for this than a regular deadlift, which has your legs much closer together. But as this was a posterior chain workout, this is really good for working your glutes and your hamstrings, as basically you are using your legs and hips to drive the weight up, not your back. Your back and your core are really just supporting the weight. So if you put your weight in your heels and think about straightening your legs and pushing your hips forward to stand up with the weight, if that makes sense for you, and then obviously squeezing your glutes as hard as you can at the top. So the second exercise is more of a Romanian deadlift or straight leg deadlift. I did have the band around my knees just to see if I could incorporate sort of the outer side of the glutes a little bit, trying to hold my knees out. But again, keep your weight in your heels and bring your hips back. And as you can see, you want to keep your back sort of as straight and neutral as possible. You don't want to round your lower back or you're going to seriously hurt yourself. So you have a soft bend in your knees and think about slowly pushing your hips back until you can feel a stretch in your glutes and hamstrings, and then slowly push your hips forward to stand up. You really don't have to do a huge amount of weight on this. You really just want a slow, controlled movement until you can feel that stretch. So this next one is obviously the barbell hip thrust, which I do in pretty much every leg workout that I can. So I have the band around my legs again, just for some extra emphasis on the glutes. And you can see at the top that my knees are at a 90-degree angle. If your feet are farther ahead of you, you're gonna hit your hamstrings. I usually do like a sort of a powerful thrust upward, if that makes sense, and then pause at the top, and a controlled decentric, as in lowering the weight. You don't want to sort of swing the weight around, but you are naturally stronger on the eccentric or the lowering. So if you need to power up just a little bit and then squeeze at the top just to get a couple more reps in, as long as you can slowly go down. Okay, so we have the hamstring curls on the seated machine. You want to do higher reps with this at a lower weight and just control it. That's why I have it more at the end of my workout. And so obviously you want to squeeze in. I would flex your feet like I am, and you'll feel it more in your hamstrings, and then just slowly let the weight back up. The point of this is really just to burn them out and control the movement when your legs are getting tired. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm really bad at ab work, so I'm trying to do it more. But with this, you basically sit on the very edge of the bench and you have your hands on the back of it more for balance. And then I tried to basically straighten myself out as much as I could and then pull my legs as well as my torso up together to work your abs. On the first set, I think I got like 20, but then I had to lower the reps for every set because I'm not very good at them. So this one I learned from Megan Grubb on Instagram. It's actually a lot harder than you think. Try to keep your back relatively flat on the floor, and I just have a little 5-pound plate here. So obviously pull it over your head and then try to balance it on your shins, which is actually a lot harder than it looks. And just control the weight and the movement. And I would just do as many as you can because I couldn't do very many. So this one was kind of more of a burner ab exercise. I kept my shoulder blades off the floor as much as possible and simply tapped each heel 10 times for a total of say 20 reps. This is more like just burning because you're holding yourself up, but you're not doing sort of a full contraction. You're not using outside weight. So in this last one, I've done these on the decline bench before, but this is supposed to be a lot easier. I'm still working on controlling this, but you can either have your hands under your butt like I did, or your lower back, whatever's a little bit more comfortable, just to help stabilize yourself. So you pull your legs up and then try to lift your butt up in the air, basically, and straighten out a little bit. I'm still working on controlling these as they are, again, harder than they look.